yeah, this'll do. Perfect. Hey folks, so it's a beautiful day today, but it's quite cold, and yeah, I think that's the first sign of winter here arriving. But it's a stunning clear day. That's probably why it's cold. Anyway, so what I'm gonna try to make this time is I've been wanting to make a bell to use on some of my covers. I need sort of a specific sound. That I have a bell, an entrance bell, but it's a bit too thin as a sound. I want something chunky and heavy. And I've been looking at the scraps of metal I have, and I have this huge pipe. It's quite heavy. So I'm gonna make a few experiments. And the reason I got this other bar, metal bar, wherever it is now, is that, let me switch this camera. There you go, much better. So what I have here is this sturdy piece of just metal tube. Can't remember where I got that from, but very handy. It's quite thick, and yeah, I wanted something thicker than the with just chunkier sound than the bell I have. I have an entrance bell that I thought I could use for maybe a recording as I don't know why, but anyway, so I'm going to use that instead. I've used something similar. It was a much thinner bar but longer for the Dune cover, and but I wanted something bit bigger that resonates a bit more. So I have that. I'm going to cut a section. Maybe I'll cut another bigger section here, and then yet another bigger one. And then here I have this is a candle holder piece, because I'm going to cut a section of that, drill holes here, and then pass that through that, so that it actually hangs freely once you've hit it, metal on metal, and maybe put some threads in there and 2 bolts on the side so it doesn't move. Anyway, I've marked where I want to cut. Get the angle grinder and let's get cutting. There you go. This stuff. So I have my holes drilled. Hopefully they're the right size. I think so. So the next section of this is this length here, and that should be roughly the right size. A lot of approximations here, so I'm not really measuring anything, because, well, essentially I still don't know what I'm making. So yeah. There you go. Right now it's not making much noise because, well, essentially it's probably too thick, and hold on. Strike it. It's too thick and it doesn't leave much room to stuff to resonate. So I'm actually going to cut a slot here first and maybe here afterwards, and see what I need to make it resonate properly. I will probably need in time to maybe widen the slot, or we'll see, but I'm just going to cut probably here and see what happens. Actually, probably I want it on the side, so probably 2/3 up all the way down. Let's do that. That's not bad, actually. sort of what I want. I want one much lower at some point. So I'm going to experiment with that a bit. I'm going to tidy this, maybe widen the slot, and match it on both sides. See what I can get out of this, and then we're going to move on to a much bigger format. Perfect. Okay, so this is what I've done. I've widened here, and then I'm working to cut out bits to get some sort of a curve like that on both sides, make it a bit more nicer looking, and see what we get at the end. So I'm gonna keep working. I think that's as much cutting as I'm gonna get with this. Let's taste this. Okay, so this is what I end up with. Just try to smooth out as much as I could here with the angle grinder. Could be better, but it's actually exactly sort of the sound or the texture I need. Very sort of chunky and full, with long resonance. I don't want that thin sort of belly sound. So I'm gonna try to do something sorry, similar with this bigger guy. Oh, that's heavy. And I kind of like, it's actually a cool sound. I might just record that and have that as a sample at some point. And then maybe just, I'm just gonna do the same stuff I've done. I'm just gonna thread just drive 2 holes here and here, see what I get, and then maybe work from slots. Maybe make small slots initially and make them bigger. We'll see, but yeah, I'm gonna start with the holes here. So maybe let's keep working. Similar stuff, got a bar running here, and gonna cut a slot here. I'm gonna draw a straight line here from this one. No big fucking complicated stuff, just taking this. More or less straight. I'm going to do the same stuff on the other side. I'm assuming that the idea is to free some of the metal to resonate on its own. And what we've done here is that we've got this piece resonates and this piece resonates sort of independently. So sometimes you hear that wobble because there's probably a small phase difference between both sides. Sort of create that roughness. I might actually just cut another slot here and just see what happens sound wise, and do 4-1, but here I'm just going to do 2. I'm guessing around as far as here, but I'll do it in increments. and see what this sounds like. So that's 16 inches. I'm going to do 6, 12, 16, and see what happens. It's all very experimental. I have no idea really what I'm doing. I just do it. Metal vibrates and creates cool sounds. And I want that. Don't have a project for it yet, but I mean, it's all about having stuff ahead of when you need them, if you will. Okay. I'm gonna in smaller increments yet, because right now it's made a huge difference to our sound already. Oh yeah, that's really cool. So, quick update on my progress. I actually ended up cutting, this was my longest one here, and this was running all this way, actually this way. Cut like this, and it was a bit too heavy, and essentially I realized that the only resonant part and the only thing that actually makes the noise is this bit that's cut. So you could have just longer here, it wouldn't make that much of a difference. So I cut it there, just I haven't drilled holes yet. And another thing I've realized is that I will probably need to weld these in place here, and then use another system to make them move around that, because it actually creates some small jumps, and you can hear the metal rattling. Whereas if I just hold it by one hand like that, you get much more resonance. So I'm gonna try it on this one, maybe weld the thing on it and then hold it by a piece of just twine, something like that. It's actually a nice, it's kind of very close to what I wanted, so it'd be nice. And then I had this piece left, and I thought I'd experiment by not just cutting it in half, but cutting it in bits and lowering, making, you know, one part smaller. And it turns out actually I'm getting just a very nice sound with these. This dog you're seeing here is Bowsy. It's my friend's dog, and she's very old. She's partially blind, and she's wondering what's going on with all this noise here. Poor Bowsy. But this one ends up being probably the lowest one. This one still has a lot of... There's a few sweet spots, but it tells me that it doesn't actually need to be bigger to be lower, because this bit here is actually the lower one, or this one is. So they might just need to be narrower. So I'm gonna probably cut another 2 pieces here, because I have one sounding like that already, and it's this guy. Actually not even close, no. Oh, interesting. Oh, what I might do then is keep this one. I like that. I like that. Keep this one, and then maybe cut this one in 4. And I might do the same here, because I don't need 2 on each side. So I might cut a slot here and get 3 out of them, and I'll see the difference between the 2, and I might do what I've done here, which is make one a bit smaller. And maybe do something similar with that, because that's very different than I don't actually quite like this. But I much prefer this one. Yeah, let's see. I might keep this. Keep one, cut that in half, and then have 4 on this one. See what happens. Yeah, I might do that. I'll just get back to work. It's all experimental, so it's great. And then, oh yeah, I need to test. Actually, I like the tone on this one, so I might try it on this one instead, and just solder it from here. So that way, if it doesn't work, I can just hammer it out, you know, chisel it out. Because if I do this and solder it, it's going to be in place. I'm going to have a hard time just removing it if it doesn't work. I might just do that actually, just solder it on top here for now, and then see what happens. There you go. This is one this was my longer one. I've actually cut it in smaller bits just to get different sounds. The idea was to have this sort of sound going, and welding the rod here actually makes a huge difference. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I've done this one, I've done another one here. That sounds slightly different. And then this one, which is higher pitch. I haven't welded anything on it yet. I kind of still like this one, but I think, well, what I might do is I might weld the bar here on this one and be done with it, because this is pretty much what I wanted to get. That type of sound. I can record them and then just combine them, and I wanted something slightly that didn't quite sound like a bell, but had resonance and bells like, and that's pretty cool. Not sure if that's what you wanted to see, but there's been, you know, sparks and flashes and cutting stuff and metal banging against metal. Anyway, folks, I hope this was interesting. It was a cool experiment. I've definitely used that in one of my cover at some point. I'm not sure which, but whenever I want kind of a belly sound, that type of sound, I'll have it, and it's good to be prepared. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching. Don't forget, all Patreon, Instagram, all that kind of stuff, and see you next time.